And we are doing Act 3, Scene 1 with a little monologue from before that. He took my wrist and held me hard. Then goes he to the length of all his arm. With his other hand, thus o'er his brow, he falls to such perusal of my face as if he would try it. Long stayed he so. At last, a little shaking of mine arm, then thrice his head thus waving up and down. He releases a sigh so piteous and profound. It did seem to shatter all his bulk and end his being. That done, he lets me go. And with his head thus o'er his shoulders turned, he seemed to find his way without his eyes, for out of doors he went without their help, and to the last, bending their light on me. No, my good lord, I did as you commanded. I did repel his letters and deny his access to me. I did. I wish it may.
To be or not to be, that is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against the sea of troubles, and by opposing end them, to die, to sleep no more, and by a sleep to say we end the heartache and the thousand natural shocks that the flesh is heir to. 'Tis a consummation, devoutly to be wished, to die, to sleep, perchance to dream. There's the rub. For in that sleep of death, what dreams may come, when we have shuffled off this mortal coil, must give us pause. There's the respect that makes calamity of so long life. For who would bear the whips and scorns of time, the oppressor's wrong, the proud man's contumely, the insolence of office and the spurns, the pangs of despised love, the law's delay? For in the patient merit of the unworthy takes what he himself might disquietus make with bare bodkin? Who would fardels bear to grunt and sweat under a weary life, but that the dread of something after death, the undiscovered country, from whose bourne no traveler returns, puzzles the will, and makes us bear those ills we have, and fly to others that we know not of. Thus conscience does make cowards of us all, and thus the native hue of resolution is sickled o'er with the pale cast of thought, and enterprises of great pitch and moment, in this regard, when their currents turn oury and lose the name of action. Soft you now, my fair Ophelia, nymph in thy horizons, be all my sins remembered.
Good, my lord. How does your honor this many a day?
I humbly thank you. Well.
My lord, I have remembrances of yours that I have longed long to redeliver. I pray you now receive them.
No, not I. I never gave you aught.
My lord, I know right well you did, and with them, words of so sweet breath composed as made the things more rich. Their perfume lost, take them now for, to the noble mind, rich gifts wax poor when givers prove unkind. Take them.
Are you honest?
My lord.
Are you fair?
That means your lordship.
that if you be honest and fair, your honesty should admit no discourse to your beauty.
Could beauty, my lord, have more commerce than with honesty?
Ay, truly, for the power of beauty will sooner transform honesty from what it is into a bond, than the force of honesty will translate beauty into his likeness. This was sometime a paradox, but now time gives it proof. I did love you once.
Indeed, you made me believe so.
You should not have believed me. For virtue cannot so inoculate our old stock, but we shall relish of it. I loved you not.
I was the more deceived.
Get thee to a nunnery. Why wouldst thou be a breeder of sinners? I am myself indifferent honest, but yet I could accuse me of such things that it were better my mother had not borne me. I am very proud, revengeful, ambitious, with more offenses at my beck than I have thoughts to put them in, imagination to give them shape, and time to act them in. What should such fellows as I do crawling between heaven and earth? We are errant knaves all. Believe none of us. Go thy ways to a nunnery. Where's your father?
At home, my lord.
Then let the doors be shut upon him, that he may only play the fools in his own house.
Oh,
farewell.
Heavens!
If thou dost marry, I'll give thee this plate for thy dowry. Be thou as chaste as ice, as pure as snow, thou shalt not escape calumny. Get thee to a nunnery. Farewell. Or if thou wilt needs marry a fool, for wise men know what monsters you make of them.
Heavenly powers restore him. I've heard of your paintings too well enough.
To a nunnery,
God has
go!
given you one face, and you make yourself another.
You jig and amble and you lisp. You nickname God's creatures and you make your wantonness ignorance. Go to, I'll no more on it. It hath made me mad. I say that we'll have no more marriage. Those that are married already, all but one, shall live. The rest shall keep as they are. To a nunnery, go. Farewell.
Oh, what a nobler mind is here overthrown. Courtiers, soldiers, scholars, eye-tongue, sword, the expectancy and rose, the fair state, the glass of fashion, the mold of form, the observed of all observers, quite down, and I, of all ladies, most dejected and wretched, that sucked the honey from his music vows. Now see, the most noble and sovereign reason, like the sweet bells, jangled out of tune and harsh, that unmatched form and feature of blown youth blasted with ecstasy. Woe's me, to have seen what I've seen. See what I see. Thank you.